Hey Reddit, I'm here today to share a story that I've been holding inside for far too long. I need to get it off my chest and perhaps find some solace in knowing that I'm not alone. This is going to be a long one, so bear with me. It's a story about my younger brother, whom I believed to be a narcissist, and how his behavior almost ruined my life. The early years. Growing up, my younger brother, let's call him Jake, was always the golden child. He could do no wrong in the eyes of our parents. Jake was charming, outgoing, and had an uncanny ability to manipulate people into getting what he wanted. As the older sibling, I often found myself overshadowed by his larger-than-life personality. Despite our differences, I tried to be a good older sibling. I helped Jake with his homework, stood up for him when he got into trouble at school, and shared my toys and games with him. But as we grew older, it became increasingly clear that Jake was not your typical younger brother. The first signs of trouble. The first real sign of trouble came when Jake was in high school. He had a knack for making friends with the cool kids and always seemed to be the life of the party. Meanwhile, I was more of an introvert, content with a smaller circle of friends and my studies. Jake would often ridicule me for being boring and lame, and our parents would laugh it off as typical sibling rivalry. But it wasn't just harmless teasing. Jake had a way of making me feel inferior and worthless. He would constantly belittle my achievements and compare them to his own. If I got an A on a test, he would brag about how he aced his exams without even trying. If I made a new friend, he would find a way to insert himself into my social circle and become the center of attention. The college years. Things took a turn for the worse when we both went off to college. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to a prestigious university while Jake decided to attend a party school. At first, I was relieved to have some distance between us. I thought that maybe with time and maturity, Jake would grow out of his narcissistic tendencies. I was wrong. Jake began to visit me at my university frequently. He would show up unannounced, crash on my couch, and expect me to cater to his every need. He would invite himself to parties and events, often making a scene and embarrassing me in front of my friends and professors. He even went as far as to flirt with my potential romantic interests, often succeeding in stealing them away. I tried to set boundaries, but Jake would guilt-trip me by saying things like, "I'm your brother, you should be happy to see me," or "You're just jealous because I'm more popular than you." Our parents were no help either. They would brush off my concerns and tell me to be more understanding and supportive of Jake. The breaking point. The breaking point came during my senior year of college. I was working on my thesis, a project that I had poured my heart and soul into for months. Jake showed up one weekend, claiming he needed a place to stay because he had a fight with his roommates. Reluctantly, I let him stay, hoping he would be considerate of my need to focus on my work. Of course, that was wishful thinking. Jake threw a massive party at my apartment while I was at the library. When I returned, I found my place trashed, my laptop, which contained my thesis, missing, and several of my belongings broken or stolen. I was devastated. When I confronted Jake, he acted like it was no big deal. He laughed it off and said, "Relax, it's just stuff. You can replace it." I lost it. I yelled at him, telling him he was selfish and destructive. In response, he turned the tables, accusing me of being too uptight and not knowing how to have fun. After college, the downward spiral. After graduation, I managed to find a decent job and move to a new city, hoping to finally escape Jake's toxic influence. But he wasn't done with me. Jake would frequently call and text, asking for money, a place to stay, or favors. When I refused, he would badmouth me to our family, painting me as the ungrateful, selfish sibling. Our parents, of course, took his side. They would call me, chastising me for not helping Jake out. They refused to see the pattern of manipulation and abuse that was so evident to me. I felt trapped and isolated, unable to make them understand the damage Jake was causing. Jake's behavior escalated to stalking. He would show up at my workplace, causing scenes, and making it difficult for me to maintain my professional reputation. He would spread rumors about me among our mutual acquaintances, claiming that I was mentally unstable and a liar. The legal battle. The final straw came when Jake stole my identity. He opened credit cards in my name, racked up massive debts, and nearly ruined my financial future. I discovered this when I was denied a mortgage for a house I was planning to buy. When I looked into my credit report, I saw numerous accounts that I had never opened. I was furious and heartbroken. I confronted Jake, but he denied everything, even though the evidence was clear. I had no choice but to involve the authorities. I filed a police report and took legal action against my own brother. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, but I knew it was the only way to protect myself. The The legal battle was long and grueling. Jake played the victim card, trying to manipulate our family and friends into believing that I was out to get him. He claimed that I was fabricating everything to ruin his life. Thankfully, the evidence was on my side, and I eventually won the case. Jake was ordered to pay restitution and was given a restraining order. The aftermath. Even after winning the legal battle, the emotional scars remain. My relationship with my family is fractured, as they still believe Jake's lies to some extent. They see me as the villain who took their precious golden child to court. It's painful, but I've had to distance myself from them for my own well-being. Jake, as far as I know, has not changed. He continues to manipulate and hurt those around him. I've cut off all contact with him, but the memories of his actions linger. I've spent years in therapy, trying to heal from the trauma he inflicted. Finding peace. Despite everything, I'm slowly finding peace. I've built a new life for myself, surrounded by friends who understand and support me. I've learned the importance of setting boundaries and recognizing toxic behavior, even when it comes from family. To anyone out there dealing with a narcissistic sibling, I want you to know that you're not alone. It's okay to protect yourself, even if it means making difficult decisions. Your mental and emotional health is worth more than maintaining a relationship with someone who constantly tries to tear you down. Thank you for reading my story. Sharing it here has been cathartic, and I hope it helps someone else out there who might be going through something similar.